just above the main channel is first order tributary in the Denbrook catchment. What you can see if you look downstream on me is that the channel has recently been excavated by the farmer. He felt there were issues with levels of sedimentation in the channel. His solution to this problem was to bring in a JCB and excavate not only all of the channel sediments, but as you can see, a good proportion of the shale bedrock. So unfortunately what's happened here is the channel hasn't been excavated to its natural graded profile. The farmer's actually gone significantly deeper, and of course there might be implications for how the channel responds to what is effectively an imposition of channel profile now. The sediment that the farmers removed, you can see some of it is distributed on the banks here, some of it's been distributed onto the field sides, so onto these hill slopes adjacent to the main channel, and some of it has been used here just beneath me to fill a large area that was naturally gullying over the course of last winter. So clearly this channel, it has, and what we can see is there are large pipes here below me which feed the water from further upslope into the main channel. But clearly the channel is trying to respond, it's trying to head cut, it's trying to cut back up into its natural flow path further up in the headwaters, and so it's really not in equilibrium, and the consequences are that it's doing work, it's eroding, moving more sediments and nutrients in a downstream direction. Now, one of the interesting things that we can look at whilst we're down here is these pipes. I can try and not fall in. And their situation reflects the farmer's need to move this drained water from the headwaters of the catchment in a downstream direction. Quite a large pipe, about 1 metre in diameter, certainly flowing to this sort of level on quite a regular basis in spate, you know, up to half full. So we're seeing a lot of pretty turbid sediment coming out of here. However, upstream of here we only really have diffuse sources. Realistically, there's not a lot of what you might call really nasty pollutants sourcing from this source of drainage. On the other hand, if we look a little way further downstream, we see another pipe here, and note well the scum. I'm not actually going to touch that. And if you recall, further upslope, further up towards the catchment boundary, this pipe heads in the direction of the main farmyard. In fact, it's a drain that's connected directly to the main farmyard. So of course the material that this pipe brings down into our channel is very different in its nature to the pipe that simply drains the headwaters. We've monitored both of these pipes. We tend to see some nice high concentrations, particularly of phosphorus in here. I think we see more in the way of colloidal matter, although the research is ongoing to try to understand that. And though we see less discharge from this pipe, our current thinking is that we're seeing greater contributions, particularly to the nutrient budget, from this lower discharge source. As I say, directly linked to the farm. So in terms of thinking about how this management practice, this removal of sediment from the stream, dumping of that sediment on the channel banks here and onto the fields, has impacted on the ecology of this stream, and I think it's probably fairly obvious if you look at the stream. Ecologically, it's a bit of a disaster zone, really.
Barren.
There really isn't a great deal of vegetative matter that's still alive in this channel. You know, it's certainly not supportive for a great deal of life, unfortunately. Whether this channel will recover swiftly or not remains to be seen, and we'll be monitoring through the next year or subsequent years to find out about that. Arguably though, this is the sort of land management practice that probably needs to be rethought if we're going to improve the way in which we link our land to our water and improve the water quality as a function of the material that's coming off our intensively farmed grassland.